I don't care who you are. Every single person walking around this planet is resentful at somebody or something or some principle. And it'll eat your lunch. We hang on to it like we're punishing others. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. There's a way you can get out of it, and it's called resentment inventory. The reason that we get resentful is because one of the 7 areas of self, one or all of them, are threatened or feel like they're threatened. And those 7 areas of self are self-esteem, pride, ambition, security, personal relations, sex relations, and pocketbook. So when we perceive that somebody or something has done something to us, one or all of those areas of self are threatened. So then we become afraid. When we become afraid, we get into fantasy land. Resentment means to re-feel over and over and over. Somebody cuts me off in traffic, I may get a little angry, but I'm not going to be resentful. I just got angry. Now that anger may be coming from a previous resentment around something else that has nothing to do with someone cutting me off in traffic. The way you get out of a resentment, and it's really quite simple, but you have to have the willingness to look at things objectively. So you put pen to paper. It gets all of these crazy thoughts and all of this stuff that's whirling around in your head, and you put pen to paper and the truth comes out. And you do it in 4 columns. So you write a column. First column is, I am angry with. And then you put their name. Simple enough. The next column is, you title that, because. I am resentful because. And then you write down why you're angry, why you're resentful. The third column, there's 4 columns. The third column is you're going to list what areas of self it affects, and you're going to include that in a sentence, like self-esteem. I am above being, or I am below. Like I am not enough. Either I think I'm all that, or I'm not enough. That's the self-esteem. Pride is how we think others see us. And then you've got ambition. We all have ambition. You start the sentence with I want. I want my wife to respect me. I want my loved one to quit drinking. I want to be free of my loved one's addiction. Then you got security. That's what you feel like you need in order to be okay. Like I need my loved one to quit drinking for me to be okay. When that's really not true. It's really not. But you hang on to that because you're in fear. I need him to be sober in order for me to be okay. And it's just a false. Like you can learn to be okay regardless of whether a loved one in your life gets sober or not. Personal relationships. A real man would be the best version of themselves that they could be for their loved ones, right? That's your belief. You start getting into some belief systems that you have. Some are true, a lot of them are not. A lot of them are made up along the way. And you're hanging on to these belief systems that life has to go this way in order for me to be okay and feel peace. You get into sex relations. A real husband would blah, blah, blah. A real wife would blah, blah, blah. A real girlfriend, a real woman, a real man. Then you get into the pocketbook. Not all of resentments are related to the pocketbook, but most of them are. That's your finances. That's like, how has this affected you financially? Then you start seeing where your belief systems are. And if you have more than one resentment and you write these resentments down and you do them in these columns, you start seeing a pattern of how you're really thinking about things. And then you set all that aside. And you get to the 4th column. And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because you start talking about, what's my part in this? Where did I set the ball rolling? How am I letting this person's behavior rule my life? And it's selfish. Where have I been selfish? Selfish is a thought. Those are the selfish thoughts that you have. Then you follow that up with self-seeking, self-centeredness. That's the actions that you've taken. Then you got, where have I been dishonest? There's 3 forms of dishonesty: omission, commission, and delusion. The lies you straight up tell others, the half-truths you tell, and then the lies you tell yourself. And then you look at, what am I afraid of? Because it's all rooted in fear. Every resentment you have is rooted in fear. Now you may say, what about a justifiable resentment? I certainly understand that. I was molested at 10 years old. That's a justifiable resentment. Like I was harmed. but my part in that. And you'd be like, well, what's your role in that? You didn't ask for that. You didn't do that to yourself. Like, what's your part? My part is how I allowed that to dominate my life for 25 years. How I allowed that to dictate every thought, every action, play the victim, and every decision and every experience was filtered through that, and I allowed that to continue instead of seeking the help necessary to free me from it. When you put all that truth down on paper, pen to paper, truth comes out, and you can be free of that resentment. That's resentment inventory. Anybody can do it. It came from the 12-step fellowship. It's called the 4-step, well, part of it anyway, but anybody can use it, and it's so simple. Hope this helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If we can be of service to you, if you've got an addicted loved one, I am an interventionist. I provide hourly appointments to give you strategy and guidance without you feeling like you having to be sold something or you're being sold something. I give you everything I've got in that hour. You get a strategy, you get a plan, you get an ear, and you can be on your way to getting well and being free from the resentment that you're feeling from your addicted loved ones. Y'all have a good day.